In this video, I'm going to go over how I was able to recover files and photos after I reformatted a MacBook drive. Now, the situation was our Mac went haywire. I had no backup. Repair disk failed, and it only booted to the utilities page. So this is after I'm in the utilities page and I'm trying to do a disk repair. I also just tried to reinstall the OS, and that did not work. So the disk was not mounted, and you can see I tried to repair it, and all kind of problems. So in the end, I just got this. It gave up. We could talk to Apple Care, and they basically said you're just going to have to reformat it, and your files are lost. So this is the path I went down up here. Erase, which is reformatting, and this was my last resort, and I am not responsible if you actually do this. I'm just demonstrating how my situation, how I got through it. It warns you that it's going to wipe everything. What I did was I wiped everything. I reinstalled Mac OS Yosemite, so it was clean. I added my Apple ID, and luckily that syncs. That gets your calendar, your contacts, Safari bookmarks, everything back. So the last thing left was files and photos. So go online and find Stellar Phoenix. So I Googled that. I downloaded the trial version for MacBook Recovery. Don't buy it, because the trial will let you install it, find files, and if they're there, then it gives you the option to buy it to recover them. So here's what I'm looking like. I've already installed it on the clean OS. I'm looking at Stellar Phoenix, and I click the file, the formatted file section. It brings you to select the volume. It's the Macintosh hard drive, the big one there that I just formatted, near 500 gigs, and it gives all this nice info. You just hit scan. At this point, it's going to scan your entire hard drive, and it's going to take a while. I think it took an hour and a half, maybe. You can see all those sectors and stuff. It took forever. When it gets done, this is what you see. It's complete, and it's going to show you folders on the left, and it's going to try to. There's some different options, and then all these files in front of you. Now at this point, what you need to do is kind of look and see if it's worth it to buy. Is it finding the documents? Is it finding pictures that you believe are missing? So the file list here on the left-hand pane categorizes it nice. So I just went to Excel spreadsheet here, XLS, and right away I found a couple of spreadsheets I knew that we had lost. So this told me this is good. And then I went through pictures and stuff like that. And all you do is hit recover. Now at this point it says, hey, guess what? You only have the trial version. You need a key. So what we did is we went through and make sure we saw a lot of the photos we were missing. Decided, is it worth it? It's totally worth it for us. $99. You just keep clicking. It takes you to the website and allows you to purchase it right there. And then now once you enter the key, now it's registered. Now you can actually recover the documents you want. So at this point I said okay. And the weird thing here is, this is, go to recover, and it gives you options of where do you want to recover it to, and it keeps coming and saying, hey, you're on the same volume, you can't do that. It seems a little odd to me. I kept trying to create like new folders, and I'd go in here and I'd go into users and add a new folder or something like that and say that's where I want to recover it, but it just wouldn't let me. So in the end, what I end up doing, you can see here on the left, there's shared directories. I have folders shared out on my network, on Windows PCs actually. And what I did was I just decided to recover it across the network to my Windows PC, SlickRock 4 there. So I just logged in and I created a new folder, I think called Recovery, and recovered it. So that was a little tricky part that, some people might have trouble with. Maybe a USB drive you could recover to also. I'm not sure. I didn't try that, but now I started copying everything over, and I quickly realized I just said all the photos, and there's all these bitmaps and all this other junk. So that's why I ended up canceling here, and decided to do just videos and documents first, and then there's that file list, and then I'll show a little bit. There's a way to filter it even more. So I'm just kind of going through some of the steps that I did. Now, ultimately, these are getting, right now I should say they're getting recovered to a Windows PC across my network. But then ultimately I have to copy them back to my MacBook because that's where I want to use them. So you can see it is just what it's going to do. It's just you have all these options. You pick what you want. I'd say take some time and look through and get what you want because there's a lot of other junk there. Now the other option I use, if you can go and you can filter, it gives you option to filter, where it says filter list, and you can see here I just go start.jpg, and then I use the dates, because I know I've only had the MacBook for 2 years, so I just want JPEGs from the last 2 years. And that's just an easier way to kind of filter out a lot of the junk. So again, I'm just kind of showing, at this point, I mean, the tool worked. It worked great. It found what I needed. Now I just needed to actually find what I was looking for, put it in the appropriate place. So just in summary here, we're kind of showing some different steps. I mean, in my case, I could only boot to the disk utilities. I had no options for installing an OS. I had no options for repairing the OS, and I had no backup, or what Macintosh calls time machine files. I had none of that. So my only option was to format the drive. Luckily, I was able to format the drive, and it worked, meaning I was then able to reinstall the OS. So at that point, I actually had a working MacBook. Then I just used, went online on the MacBook, downloaded the Stellar Phoenix Mac data recovery tool for free. It ran through. It found files. I was satisfied. Decided it was worth the $100 because it found everything I was looking for. Got the key right there, and then in my case, I recovered them across my network to a shared drive on a Windows PC. And then ultimately, what I have to do, and I don't show it here, but I will copy those back to the MacBook, because that's ultimately where I want to use them. So a couple steps there, but not everyone's going to have the same success. I realize that. So this was my situation. I got lucky, I feel like, and I was able to actually recover all the lost data. And it was a good tool for me. I cannot say that it's going to work for everybody. That's for sure. I don't need any haters out there, but it did work, and good luck.